But the last statement there for South Africa is that there's acknowledgement of the Just Energy Transition Plan that we heard about yesterday, but then also the text there. It will be critical for the country to increase its zero-emission vehicle manufacturing. And I think this is the key for South Africa, is how do we transform our auto industry that has been around for over 100 years into that leverage to transforming into zero-emission vehicles. So, landing on this slide, again referencing right here in Gqeberha back in 1924, Port Elizabeth, was the first Model T that was built here. That's what developed and grew our automotive market alongside government's policies that have evolved over time. But the transition towards zero-emission vehicles has been slow. We acknowledge some developments of hybrid vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles. But those for you that are into sport will recognize the red card there. And that red card is right in our face. The UK and Europe have announced their clear bans on the vehicles we produce. So those markers, and let's take 2035 as a timeline there. And let's get some into maths. If we look at production cycles for manufacturers, it's typically a 7-year cycle as they invest and drive product development. 2035 minus 7 years brings us to 2028. That's when we should be establishing these plants. However, the headquarters are not in South Africa, they are in other regions. Those negotiations take typically 4 years. Now if we take 2028 minus 4 years is 2024. That's where we needed to be securing investments in South Africa to take our auto manufacturing industry forward. So we are in a crisis, and Frank Stevens is here, and I'm just also quoting his reference yesterday to say that if we have an ICU award in the automotive industry, that is South Africa. And we are at a critical point that we need to transform that. But it's not doom and gloom, as we say, because an interesting study that was done is to say that South Africa's vehicle assembly process is technology agnostic. When we look at how do we manufacture vehicles, all the way along the assembly line, it's all compatible, whether it's a brown car, red car, whether it's a diesel, petrol, or hybrid. Only as when we get to the powertrain installation do we see this being an internal combustion engine, hybrid electric vehicle engine, battery electric, or fuel cell. So we are ready from a supply chain to respond. We just need the clear market signals from the policies and the development of our auto sector to really transform and take us where we need to. So I hope that's given you some insights into that, but also speaking of where we need to get some action down. So looking forward to if there's any questions, but also further engagements on that. Thank you.